A dragon seed must watch his own neck when he has no white-cloaked guardsman to do it for him.
That is what he says. A drunkard. A liar. A man who seems to exist purely for comic relief in a show full of self-serious kings and queens. You probably saw him and thought, oh, he's just the funny perspective of the small folk. But what if I told you that this stumbling drunk is actually the most dangerous biological anomaly in the entire history of Westeros? What if I told you that beneath the bad jokes and the cheap ale, this man is hiding a lineage that disproves the divine right of kings? Because if you look at the timeline math, the acting choices, and the biological subtext of the Dragon Pit, you realize something terrifying. He isn't just a distant cousin. He is the brother of King Viserys. He is the brother of Daemon Targaryen. And today, I'm going to prove why the drunk guy at the inn might just be the most tragic character George R.R. Martin never fully explained. I mean, sure, I'll talk about how he claimed a dragon by accident in detail, but first, we need some context. When a low-born person claims to be a Targaryen, they usually aim for the low-hanging fruit. They say,
I'm King Jaehaerys' bastard, I swear it.
It's an easy lie. But Ulf? Ulf chooses a very specific, very dangerous name. He says,
I'm the son of Baelon the Brave,
Bastard brother to Prince Daemon.
and the late King Viserys, uncle to the one true queen, Rhaenyra Targaryen.
Now, casual viewers might miss this, but book readers know exactly why this is insane. Baelon Targaryen was the Spring Prince, the perfect knight, the father of Viserys and Daemon. History remembers him as a paragon of honor who never remarried after his wife died. So, the skeptics look at Ulf and say, Baelon the Brave would never father a bastard in a brothel. The irony is painful. But let me explain the math. History is written by maesters, and maesters record public events, not private grief. Let's look at the forensic timeline. Baelon died in 101 AC. The dance starts in 129 AC. That is a 28-year gap. If Ulf was conceived right before Baelon died, he would be 28 years old. But look at the actor, Tom Bennett. Does he look 28 to you? No, he is clearly in his mid-40s. This isn't a casting mistake, it's a clue. If Ulf is 45, he was born around 85 AC. And do you know what happened in 84 AC? That was the year Baelon's wife died. For 17 years, the Spring Prince was a grieving widower, a man in pain, hiding his loneliness from the court. Is it really so hard to believe that a broken prince sought comfort in the anonymity of the Street of Silk? When you see it this way, Ulf isn't a liar. He is the shadow of Daemon Targaryen. He has Daemon's chaotic energy, but none of the privilege. He is the brother they left behind. But of course, having the blood is one thing. Claiming the dragon is another. And this brings us to what I think is one of the most misunderstood scenes in the entire show. People laughed at this. They said, Ulf just tripped and fell into a dragon? That's lazy writing. I disagree. I think this scene is a masterpiece of biological storytelling. Just look at the other candidates. They march in like soldiers. They try to use magic and authority. And what happens? They get incinerated because they are treating the dragon like a machine that takes voice commands. Now look at Ulf. He wanders in terrified, and then crunch. He steps directly onto a clutch of dragon eggs. But look closer. He doesn't just break a shell, he steps into the nesting fluid. There is a theory in the deep lore that dragon bonding isn't just magic, it's biology. It's pheromonal. By stepping into that fluid, Ulf coated himself in the scent of the dragon's own offspring. And then, look at his acting. He doesn't stand tall. He collapses. He makes himself small. In animal ethology, this is called a submission posture. Silverwing isn't a war machine like Vhagar. She was the dragon of good Queen Alysanne. She is maternal. When she sees Ulf, she doesn't see a threat. She sees a frightened, submissive creature that smells like her nest. He didn't tame the dragon. He survived the dragon. And that distinction is brilliant because it mocks the entire Targaryen supremacy. They aren't gods. They are just lucky.
The idea that we control the dragons is an illusion.
But there is one more layer to this character that proves he is more than just a lucky drunk. We see Ulf telling his lies, holding court. But who is serving the drinks? It's Dyana, the serving girl from Season 1 that King Aegon assaulted and silenced. She is a victim of the Green Targaryens. The show puts that reminder there for a reason. Because watch what happens next. A random patron grabs Dyana. He harasses her. And what does Ulf do? The selfish drunk? He stops his story. He leans in. This is a massive character beat. It tells us that Ulf starts his journey with a moral baseline that the actual king lacks. At this point in the story, Ulf views himself as the Prince of Flea. He represents the starving man in a city under blockade. He has watched the Highborns play their Game of Thrones while his friends eat rats. And this sets up a man who isn't evil. He is just tired of being the victim. But this is where the story twists. And this is where the drunk guy becomes the villain. The show pairs Ulf with Hugh Hammer, and they are perfect mirror images. Hugh represents Targaryen pride. Ulf represents Targaryen gluttony. We know that Ulf starts as a protector of the weak. But what happens when you give a starving man a nuclear weapon? He doesn't want to save the Dianas of the world anymore. He wants to stop being them.
To the skies! We are unbound!
But in the books, the moment Ulf gets his dragon, his ambition spirals. He stops caring about the small folk. He demands Highgarden. He demands the richest castle in the realm. And this is the tragedy of his character. He doesn't want to break the wheel. He wants to sit on top of it. He represents the ultimate nightmare for Rhaenyra. Not a noble rebel, but a nouveau riche monster. A man who spent 40 years counting coppers.
Blast it all.
Who suddenly realizes he can take whatever he wants. He fights because he has an inferiority complex that can only be filled with wine, gold, and titles. He wants to be the prince his father Baelon never acknowledged. So, when you rewatch the season, don't look at Ulf as the comic relief. Look at the lighting in his eyes, how they give him that pale Valyrian shimmer. Look at the way he carries the grief of a father he never knew. He is the answer to the question, what if a Targaryen was just a regular, messed-up guy? Ulf proves that thesis. He is the dragon in the dustbin. And as Tywin Lannister might say,
a lion doesn't concern himself with the opinions of the sheep.
But maybe the lion should have concerned himself with the sheep. Because this sheep just found a flamethrower. And he's about to prove that fire burns everyone, highborn and lowborn alike. If even once in this video you felt, wait, I never saw it that way, then you're already one of us. We're building an empire of people who see the truths others miss. Thanks for watching.